Hey guys, welcome to Better Engineering and Management podcast. Today we have Varun Jain joining us to discuss an emerging role that is sales engineering. Varun has had an exceptional career where he has worked in telecom industry, from which he switched to software development and coaching. And currently he works with pre-sales in Atlassian. Varun, please welcome to the podcast.
Hey Pradeep, yeah, thanks for having me.
Please give a small brief about yourself.
Yeah, 100%. I think in terms of my introduction, the way I would like to start, I call myself as a technologist, super dad, very personal to me. We briefly touched upon, I got a young one, 8 years old boy, and a lifelong learner. And then a lot of time people, they talk about like, yeah, lifelong learner does make sense, but what is it about? I think some of these principles I actually took from the Kaizen approach, what we call like continuous improvement. One small bit of improvement takes you a very long way and has a compounding effect. Agilist, sometimes people they think, yeah, just getting a certification or understanding about the agile word or the terminology make you agilist. That's not really the intent. The intent here is like during my journey, my professional career, I learned a lot about agile, the ways of working, how to help techs and businesses. And that's where some of the principle I have embraced in my life. And technology is the curiosity, I would say, for tech, being a computer science background, definitely at the very beginning of the career, it was engraved in us. And that's why I call myself as proud technologist. And probably maybe after this podcast, we can touch upon the personal side of it, like the super dad, like what's the story behind me calling myself as a proud super dad?
It's very interesting, Varun. So, Varun, tell me, generally it is believed, right, that engineers are not very good at sales. Okay. Whereas salespeople don't care much about engineering aspects of product creation and development, right? So how does this role, sales engineering, where does that this role fit exactly?
Yeah, that's a great question. And honestly, it's always getting redefined. But yeah, that's a classic one, I would say, firstly. Like people, they often assume that sales and engineering, it's almost like oil and water, so they can't go together. But essentially, if I say sales engineer is almost like the emulsifier, which actually bring the tech and businesses together. And we as a solution engineers, yeah, we got many names. Some call us sales engineer, solution consultant, different organization, different part of the world. But essentially, we are part of the sales function. And the way I would just highlight is we are very unique in terms of the way we are positioned. We are customer facing. We understand the customer requirement, but we are also making sure whatever customers are asking for is been when going back to the product. So a lot of time it's like having been that kind of, I would say, a deflector or like I'm just trying to keep put in some nice word, but it's almost about managing both product and customer and making sure the customer gets the best uh, value out of their solution. So very, very interesting question. Very much talked about, like what is the sales engineering and how sales and engineers are different. But I would say, yeah, it's almost like sales engineer is kind of that glue which sticks out both sales and engineering side of it.
I think you have given both the perspectives. One is like, as you mentioned, it is believed to be like oil and water, but actually it is the glue, right? Instead of separating the sales and engineering, you guys actually merge both of them so that the best value comes out of it.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And it's very uniquely positioned. But yeah, we'll talk about it, like how I got into it, what was the thinking. But yeah, definitely.
Sure. So Varun, tell me, what are some of the qualities one should have if he or she wants to enter into sales engineering?
Oh, that's a good one. Qualities. I won't go by those books, or there's a lot of communities now which you can go and look into, like the qualities. But personally, if someone asks me, like, what's that quality which stands solution engineer out of any other role, is definitely curiosity. It's huge. And you need to have that love to solve puzzles, translating also the complex ideas into a very simple stories. A lot of time when we talk about what exactly the customer is looking for, I would just say the customer during the sales process is looking for confidence and clarity. Super important. And that's why they're talking to the sales people, they're talking to the sales engineers to understand if they're doing some investment, how is it going to be and how it's simple it's going to be. So they're just looking for confidence and clarity. But yeah, the other qualities I would definitely highlight empathy. Very important. Very important. You have to be high on your EQ, but specifically, I would say empathy, communication, bit of technical flair. A lot of time people they think like you need to have technical background. But because today in this SaaS world and also low code, no code platform, technology is important. It's only
Mm.
going to help you to achieve or understand a lot of customer requirements and goal. And finally, hunger to learn, super critical, improve,
Okay. Okay.
keep at it. And one last thing, if you don't mind, like, yeah, the moment you ask me this question, I'm like, yeah, there's so many qualities,
Mm. Okay.
super important. Resilience, another very
Okay.
important trait. The reason I say that be be coming with a lot of your ideas. You'll be told no so many times, more than you would even like. And
Okay.
it's all about how resilient you are and how you're keen to go back and showcase your solution. Happens a lot
Okay.
with during the
Okay.
sales process.
Mm. So, do you think, if sales engineers might have an upper hand because they have also done the dev work and they're also doing the kind of let's say, collecting feedback and the gaps from customers, they might be better at explaining all the feedbacks and gaps back to the developers that this is what is missing compared to any other sales guy, let's say, who is purely into sales?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Having the understanding of tech per se, not just tech in general, having that background definitely give you some extra edge. It's almost like having that dual citizenship. So you can speak both customer pain and also tech constraint very
Okay.
fluently. And
Okay.
the point you made is like, yeah, passing on that
Mm.
feedback because you're interpreting a lot
Okay.
of information from the customer side, how you can
Right.
actually turn that noise into signal. That's really important because so much of information, you being customer facing, a lot of tech
Hmm.
information, a lot of sales information, a lot of requirements will be coming towards you. So having that tech background definitely helps so that you can translate the information. And I can only say it only makes you more powerful. But again, a lot of things are changing in today's market. AI has made a lot of ways to go around it, but definitely helps.
That's it. Basically, what I understand is like if you want to go into sales engineering, you should be curious. If it will also help if you are good at communication, that is good at presenting stories, or rather, I should say, simplifying difficult topics both to the customers and back to the developers. That would be very useful. And of course,
100%.
as Varun mentioned, resilience is very important because what will happen in sales is you will have lots of ideas because you're working closely with the customers. And then when you go back to the developers or the product team, they may say no for whatever reasons. But you are the only one who knows what exactly customer is going through. They don't know because they are not working closely with the customer. So you
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
be resilient that this customer actually needs this and it is important. Okay,
yeah,
very interesting. I
definitely.
think it's a
Yeah,
very
it takes
interesting role.
time.
I
Yeah, it
mean,
takes time.
yeah,
Yeah, it takes time to build
right,
that mindset. Wasn't
right,
easy, but you
okay,
slowly get there. You slowly
right,
get there, and then you understand like how powerful this role is. Yes,
right. That's very interesting. Not just I feel sales and engineering, it's also in the product role is also kind of there are elements of product role also into this product management role also into sales engineering because when you get the customer ideas right, you will probably sleep over it and think like, okay, these are the features that must be present in the product. Interesting. Okay.
yeah. Oh, 100%, 100%. And that's something product
Mm.
actually needs from
Mm.
sales engineer because we are
Okay.
like their eyes, nose, ears, like the senses on the ground because
Mm.
product on its
Mm.
own, they can't reach to all the customers. They are focusing on building the right thing, the feature that really matters, the solutions, understanding the market needs, but also they
Right.
are collecting those field intelligence from people like us. So
Mhm.
they kind of rely, they should actually come and talk to us. We should also go and give them feedback. So as the customers, they are asking their requirement, the market is changing, there's a lot of dynamics coming into play. They are also able to understand like, okay, these are the ground reality. At the same time, they do their own research. A lot of things they do, they have to do a lot of work for themselves as well. But we are
Mhm.
like eyes and
Okay.
ears, I would say, nose. Yeah, I don't know why I
Ready
mentioned it.
made. I think ready-made research is what they are getting from the sales engineers, right?
Oh,
Otherwise, you would
100%.
have to
Like,
go,
yeah,
right,
the
talk to
ground reality
customers.
is always very different. Ground reality,
Correct.
when you go and talk to customer, and again, different parts of the world is very different. I predominantly
Right.
look after, I've worked in APAC market, coming from India, very different dynamics, but then I've worked in SEA market, like SEA market, Southeast Asia, as well as
Okay.
Australia, New Zealand market, very different dynamics, very different ways of working. But the
Okay.
whole intent here will be to understand customer, how to translate the feedback, what constantly coming from the ground to the product team.
Sure. That's very interesting. So even though dynamics are different, like places also plays a role here, and the sales engineer might be better aware because he's traveling everywhere and he knows like the customer, and let's say in India might be very different. His expectations might be very different than what might be, let's say, a customer in New Zealand. And okay,
Yeah, 100%,
that's very
100%.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Tell me one thing. One question that I'm very curious about is like products from the Atlassian, right? Like Jira, Confluence, Trello.
yeah,
They are very, very popular with enterprises, right? How do you think Atlassian has managed to dominate the market with these products? What is the secret of Atlassian?
yeah. It's hard to decode, but it's no more secret anymore. Definitely, Atlassian got a unique position in the market. Working for Atlassian only helps you to understand like the value, the Atlassian solution, especially like two main products, Jira and Confluence. Wherever you go, whichever company, whichever part of the world, they know these two solutions, which is at sometimes makes you understand like the amount of market they have penetrated. I think listening to the people, the community, understanding the product market fit, right time was really important. And also because it never actually went out as a with the intent of straight away selling the solution. What I mean to say is like for almost 20, 25 years, rather 20 years, it was in this motion of like flywheel motion, we call it, or some call it product led growth. Different organization, again, different ways of putting it. But it actually organically started reaching out to the masses,
Okay,
especially the people in different areas, in dev areas, in engineering side. If we talk about Jira, for example, so a lot of things were happening 20 years back in those spaces. There were not many tools and solutions to cater for the need, and it was the right time probably. But then they were also very close to their customers, or rather the community. They were like constantly
okay,
listening to them and
okay,
working uh, for their community, for their users, rather than going with the intent of selling to the enterprise or only the big companies. I think that definitely helped them. And
okay,
the secret sauce, I don't really know. Wish I can get the hold of that secret sauce from our CEOs. But yeah, I
okay,
think they also empower autonomy with structure,
okay,
which is very rare, and building, helping the team to actually build something great, really is the mission of the Atlassian team. And they, from day one, probably have been just focusing on that mission, like how we can help the teams to create the important innovative ideas, or how to make their life easy, how to help them to collaborate. Like a lot of focusing around the team was really important for them from the very beginning.
That's very interesting. I think what I'm understanding is like it's not just one part of the puzzle that they have kind of you know cleared. Basically, what they have done is first of all they went to listen to people, both the customers and the end users also, right? They kept a watch on what they are, how they're using this product, what are their pain points,
Massive
and
community.
that has okay. They have worked very closely with the community, which is I think not something everyone can do easily. So there must have been a lot of effort built gone there, and then also, I think you mentioned that the team culture there, right? The organizational culture has also played a pivotal role because they have given a lot of autonomy to the people to kind of experiment and do things the way they think is fit. Okay, and so it's not just listening; it's also the team culture and also kind of being patient with everything. I think that has also helped Atlassian. Okay,
100%. And there could be a lot of other things. This is just my interpretation of like what made them successful. But I'm
okay,
sure there must
mm,
be a proper case study done somewhere on the internet
okay,
around like what actually differentiate Atlassian. And again, Pradi, like right now, when I look into some of the market, and
Mm-hmm.
when we go and talk to the customers, top executives, what I feel is like with so many things that's been changing in the
Mm-hmm.
tech world, especially with this whole notion of AI, analytics, like a lot is happening in this space. All the companies leaders, they are actually looking to Atlassian and asking them for help. Like we can literally see that, and which is like, yeah, if the customers themselves, they are looking at you
Mm-hmm.
as a trusted advisor to guide them onto their journey, onto their helping them to run their business, helping them to understand, yeah, what are the right solutions and how we should be going about it. I think that's the best thing you can ask for, like customer actually chasing you rather the other way
Right.
around.
Yeah, generally, I think companies chase product market fit, like which product will fit the market. And here the customer is coming all the way to you and telling you, hey, we trust you. You have always given good products. Now, these are our new needs based on AI and all. Please incorporate it as features
Yeah.
into your existing product.
Yeah, I think
Unbelievable.
they have created the unique value. Customer, they
Right.
definitely see them as
Okay.
as the company to lean on and
Okay.
understand like how they can uh, be a better business, and at the same time how they can be keeping up to the trend of all the things that's been happening in the tech. Like yeah, they have really built
Because I have
that
also,
community. Yeah,
right. I mean, since we have also used Jira Confluence pretty extensively, we can vouch for it because it's not just like luck. The products are actually very good. And for example, if you have people have used Confluence would know it has all the features which help them be very, very productive. For example, if you want to write a blog, right, all the formatting features will be there. At the same time, there will be macros. You can just give a some small shortcut, and the whole thing will be done for you. So I think that technological, thing which Atlassian has done, right, where they have kept, they are aware that some people may want to do things differently, and other people may want to do things differently using the same product. That has, I think, uh, help people a lot in kind of getting adjusted to these products very quickly and easily, and then they are not able to get rid of it because they are so used to it. In fact, so many products came, the Basecamp, and there are many, and just to
yeah.
take names, but I think Jira and Confluence, they have stuck with people, and I don't see any replacements anytime soon.
Oh yeah, 100%. Sometimes when we go and meet customers, maybe in some marketing events or like maybe randomly, if I say Atlassian, they might not recall which company I'm talking about. If I say Jira, oh, I know Jira. If I say
Yeah,
Confluence, oh, I've used Confluence. So those are the bigger brands I've seen than sometimes Atlassian.
completely agree. Yeah. So what are the current priorities of Atlassian Group with regards to its product portfolio? I mean, what are the new exciting trends in Atlassian that you have been following?
Oh yeah, yeah, great question. I think current priorities and trends, I would say like, yeah, one is definitely, I won't be able to say on the behalf of company per se, but
Okay.
definitely
Okay.
what we have been focusing on within solution engineering and in general is getting onto cloud. Yeah, bare minimum. Like, yeah, we have been talking about getting onto cloud for almost a decade now, I believe. There's like a lot of organization, they're still on-prem, doing the old ways of working, managing a lot of things themselves, which only have a lot of admin overhead, a lot of cost, a lot of things. And also, it's also kind of reduces the speed of innovation, what we
Mhm.
see in the market.
Okay.
So definitely getting onto
Okay.
cloud, but also the other thing is like AI powered experience, cloud experience. So it's not just about getting onto cloud, but yeah,
Okay.
following the trend of AI, Atlassian is no different. We have
Okay.
introduced products such as Rovo to bring in that intelligent search, automation, context aware assistant to teams. And also it's building that connected platform. So we don't see different teams working in silos anymore. We definitely want them to be more collaborative, more able to work together rather than having that distributed. Even if they're distributed, co-located, doesn't really matter. Those tools shouldn't be the showstopper for them to collaborate. And that's really the kind of messaging Atlassian is moving towards. Like, help us to build your system of work, probably not using entirely
Mm,
Atlassian end-to-end
mm,
product portfolio because there are so many products. Like, we are not trying to tell like, yeah, you have to buy all the products, but the whole intent here is how to help the businesses and tech team to come together closely so that they can work much faster at the pace of the trend in the market.
Sure. So, okay, so understood. Basically, get onboarding some new customers onto Atlassian, even if they don't want to use the entire suite, they just want to get started with. They can start using, let's say, Confluence, or they can start using Jira. Jira, I think they use by default anyway, so you don't need to even pitch. I think
Yeah, a
everybody
lot of companies.
maybe.
Yeah, I get do surprised sometimes still, Freddy, like, yeah, to find that company who hasn't used Jira or like, yeah, it's
Right,
like very rare. Yeah, you're so right. Like, yeah, I haven't come across, or probably, yeah, maybe someday I'll come across. There might be companies, yeah, of course, like every product, I would say they have pros and cons, and even a lot depends on the way it's been implemented. We as
right.
solution engineer, we are seeing the best way of using it, the best bells and whistles, I would say, and even the future state. We when we go and talk to our customers, we show them the art of possible, which is actually possible with the entire Atlassian ecosystem or whatever organization I work with. So we actually see
Mm,
that future already,
mm,
and that's one of the thing. What I was telling is like as a solution engineer sometimes showing that future in a very
mm,
simple language give
mm.
that confidence to the customer and also the clarity to move there. It's really paramount in this role.
That's very interesting. You also mentioned that you are helping customers kind of go on cloud, right? Customers which are on-prem. So when you say on cloud, like what exactly you mean by that? Like their entire workspaces, or do you mean the ticketing systems like Jira? And what exactly do you can just clarify on that?
Yeah, 100%. So when I say helping customer to get onto cloud, so basically whatever workload they have from the Atlassian ecosystem to get onto a
Okay.
cloud. So it's a SaaS
Okay.
offering, definitely.
Okay.
And when we say SaaS, so there's definitely, as we know, in SaaS world, there's customer responsibility, there's uh, organization responsibility, but essentially
Mm,
whatever
mm.
workload from the Atlassian ecosystem. So whether it's Jira, Bitbucket, uh,
Okay.
Confluence, to name few,
Okay.
but then there are a lot of old legacy systems as well. And there are a lot of marketplace apps, like a lot of marketplace apps, complexity, old ways of scripting. So many people, they have changed the way, like sometimes there was one executive I met actually a couple of months back, and he actually mentioned to me that the flexibility what Jira had provided us has given us such a power. And we humans, when we get flexibility, we use it and we abuse it. But a lot of organizations, they have abused it. So,
Right. Right.
and we see it as well. Like when I go and meet customers, I'm like, yo, what really
Mm,
happened there? Like who did what? 20
right.
years of information. Okay,
Okay.
let's get started one step at a time.
Right. I think it's a beginning. In the beginning, there is a little bit of hesitation because, let's say, you have all your code written into some SVN repository stored locally, and you have to put it on the cloud. So some companies might be a bit kind of hesitant to do that. But
Yeah,
eventually, when
absolutely.
they start seeing the value, right, then it becomes otherwise. They don't want to store it locally because they know that it can crash anytime, and all their code
There's
may just
so many
disappear one
things.
day, right?
Yeah, we can
Right.
keep
So,
talking about it. Absolutely. Security is
mm,
definitely one of the big concern
mm,
for all the companies.
mm,
Yeah, security is definitely, but like you said, yeah, they want to keep hold of something they have built for many years.
right,
And then
right,
sometimes they feel like, yeah, getting onto cloud might just disappear. But yeah, just
right.
the trend we see, like some organizations, they're quite mature in their ways of thinking in terms of getting onto cloud. Different part of the world is different organization, different verticals of businesses. But yeah,
Right. So, Varun, one last question that I wanted to ask is like another interesting fact about you is that you have taken pretty drastic leaps in your career, right? Where you have switched, you have changed domains from telecom to software development and then sales. How do you remain confident with such quantum leaps in your career? And what advice do you have for other professionals who want to do a big switch in their career, but who are probably scared of coming out of their comfort zone?
oh, yeah, that's a good question. Very good question, especially the quantum leap thing. Yeah, yeah, lot many times it does feel like a quantum leap. But yeah, uh, so just to give you a bit of my background, when I did my engineering, it was in computer science. But that's just the engineering side of it. Then the actual reality was like almost for a decade, I was in like you, as you know, I was in telecommunication, working for some big tech companies from the vendor side all the way from Huawei to Ericsson to different big tech companies, working on massive servers, like very different world, 2G, 3G, 4G world. And then when I
Okay.
was moving here to Australia, uh, it's just that while I was moving, I thought like, yeah, it's already uncomfortable. Like moving countries is not a joke, I would
Yeah.
say. But
Right.
then I was a new dad, so there was another challenge. And then I wanted to find something new for myself. And the reason that was because it just happened. We are like three brothers, and we all three of us are now into sales, solution engineering, pre-sales. And one of my brother actually, one of my sibling mentioned to me, you have been doing this post sales forever. You have been into projects, into tech for almost a decade. Why don't you see the other side of the world, the beautiful side of pre-sales? And I was like, okay, let's give it a try. But yeah, having said that, comfort zones are usually very nice, but nothing grows there, honestly. Freddy, like if you try to be comfortable, which is great, like I want to be comfortable as well. A lot of
Mm,
us, we love our comfort zone, but the growth actually stops there. And that's what I have experienced. And each leap in my career, whether it was from computer science to telecommunication to different companies to pre sales, especially coming to a new world, always felt
mm,
very terrifying. And I would not actually just say for the sake of saying a lot of time you, especially in the pre-sales role, you have been like expected to be customer facing. You have to be having control over a lot of things, your language, the way you project your voice to like not actually needed, but the clarity of information, the tech information, ready to grasp multiple level of information, tech, non-tech business. You can't actually tell customer like, yeah, I'm here just to listen to your specific requirement and that's it. But I didn't blindly jump. So I definitely invested in learning. Very important. Mentors. Yeah, I reached out to my brothers for the help. Industry leaders, some courses. Back then, there was like not many people who used to even talk about this community of sales engineers. But now in 8 9 years there's like a lot of content, there's a pre-sales collective, there's a lot of other people or community you can lean upon. A lot of people, they now understand what exactly the sales engineering is about. But my advice always is, and no matter that was in past but even today, like you have to
mm.
keep building your runway. You have to keep
Okay.
building no matter what you do. You can't get too
Mm,
comfortable, and
okay.
test your interest, upgrade your skills. That is also important because sometimes you get into something for the sake of getting inside it, but then slowly you understand what really excites you. Slowly you build those skills, and when the time feels right, you can
Mm,
just take off on that runway. But you have to keep
sure.
building that runway.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Okay.
cracks might happen, and when you actually want to take off, you might not be able to
Mm,
take off. And
okay.
someone actually told me, like, yeah, like about the imposter syndrome. I had a imposter syndrome for a very long time. And
Okay.
I used to think, like, am I faking a lot of time? Because I'm not that confident. I come from engineering background. I don't really feel so
Right.
confident speaking in front of people, but my personality started changing. I
Okay.
slowly realized like the power you get when you are in front of customer, the way you can express or understand their problem, solve their problem, get curious, like what exactly the problem we are solving. It
Right.
slowly takes you out of that comfort zone. And now you must have realized I keep talk. I talk. And when I'm like caffeined up, yeah, I really like to have the conversation. Although it's like Friday evening, late time, long day, but I definitely
Okay.
enjoy these conversations.
Sure. That's a very interesting take, Varun. So what I understand is like this quantum leaps, as you just mentioned, right? Instead of getting scared about it, you should be scared about staying in the comfort zone because probably you are not learning enough, right? And the world is changing fast. The AI is coming, everything is coming, technologies keep changing. And if you are stuck in the comfort zone, that should scare you, not taking the quantum leaps. If you take a leap in your career, for some time it will be uncomfortable, as you mentioned, and you can also develop this imposter syndrome. I think it's pretty common. Everyone has went through it.
Yeah,
Maybe it has something to do with
100%.
something to do with age also. When you are young and you have this fear that you don't know everything about something, right? Let's say you are in sales, you don't know everything about sales. So you feel that other people might be better than me, or I am just faking it. But I think what eventually you realize that all the jobs are similar. You have to communicate in similar manner. All the people are similar. It's just that vocabulary is different. That vocabulary you will need to learn over time. Maybe some people, I think, like me, right? I'm not very good at learning on the fly. I first take a course about anything in a more structured way and then learn. But I know many people who are very good at learning on the fly. Like they will sit with the customer, five, six customers for some time, and then they will completely learn their language. So I think it's also up to your own personal skills. You should kind of
100%.
analyze that.
100%.
And yeah, and as Varun mentioned already, right? It's also like a lot of fun if you are there because you are learning new things. You are completely out of comfort zone, and your flight will actually take off better if the runway is stronger, right? So
Yes.
maybe you don't do it abruptly like Varun has done. Maybe first of all, you read about the new, domains which you want to go and kind of prepare yourself mentally. Don't be too scared is what I would also say, because in today's
100%.
world, for example, let's say I'm in software and I want to jump to telecom. If I'm very excited about telecom, what would happen in the worst case? Let's say you will probably spend 1 year or two in the telecom and you will realize that maybe I'm not made for it. Maybe software was better for me. You can always jump back. So little bit fear is obvious, but I don't think there
100%.
is a
It's
reason to
it's
worry
needed
way too
actually.
much also.
It
Right,
a little bit of fear is actually needed. Yeah. Otherwise,
right, right.
and this is such a nice segue. I just remember like one of my very initial days, and
Mm,
I was used to ask like very commonly like you need to present, you need to do some dry run, and I used to get scared like yeah talking in front of like so many people. I don't know, like I was like my own critic. And then I
mhm.
will go to my manager saying like, yeah, I was nervous and fearful for a bit. And it was like a little bit is definitely good because then
Okay,
it shows it's important. You're going to take it seriously. And then little bit is definitely, as long as it's not a chronic stress or not,
right,
yeah, it doesn't turn
right.
into a chronic stress. I think
Mm,
it really helps people to get out of their comfort zone and then really go for what they really want. But
right.
yeah,
Mm. Understood. So a little bit of fear is good because it will help you remain prepared. You will not go unprepared anywhere because you are always
yeah.
worried that right? You want to make the best impression. You want to be better, successful, right?
100%.
Right.
And lot time will come. Like, and this is the other thing. What I've learned during this role is like, no matter what your internal situation is, because not every day you feel absolute best. But
Right.
then how,
Mm,
when you are in front of your customer, in front of your colleagues, like how, and that's where that imposter syndrome. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, this is not me. But then slowly I realized, like, yeah, you are actually not just giving out negative energy. Rather, you're actually sharing some positiveness like with this energy, so have a bit of fun with it, enjoy the conversation. You might be
right.
thinking you're giving out some negative energy. That's not the case. Like initially I used
Mm,
to be like super critic about
mm,
myself. I will watch my recordings, I will listen to myself. I'm like, my voice is not coming out okay, this is not okay, I don't sound okay, I don't look okay, my hair are not like, everything you can think about, it comes
right.
out because we
Mm,
humans are very good at self-critiquing,
mm,
self-criticizing ourselves. But then I
mm,
realized like, yeah, no one actually, yeah, you are not important, Varun. It's your solution a lot of times. And the way you
correct.
are presenting
Mm,
it with confidence and
mm,
clarity, that's what is needed. And you keep doing the thing. Even today, I would say, even today, I do have a fear. Like, I'm not like someone like now, I don't have any stage fear or any customer fear. But yeah, there was a time, even when I need to talk to more than one person in a setting, I used to get nervous. But now I don't. Honestly, it's if I step back, I'll tell you like now I've seen like a lot of times there might be 100 people, there might be 1,000 people, there might be I don't even know. I don't care honestly, but it
okay.
only helps me to understand the masses I'm reaching, the
Right.
people I'm actually impacting, and how important for me to be prepared so that I'm not wasting their time.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
helps me that way.
Basically, if you're sure about your intentions and you are know that you are going to add value to the customer, you don't need to worry about how you are kind of looking and what your voice is. Automatically, the confidence will come slowly, right? Okay.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, very well said. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, those are the days like, and not that because I come from India. And we got great skill set in engineering, in product. And this is such a powerful role. Like anytime people they reach out to me or ask me like, how did you get into this role? You had no background. I'm like,
Mm,
this definitely a long journey, but getting
mm,
uncomfortable is really
mm.
really important. And a lot of time I've made myself uncomfortable. Probably you do something, and then the only way out is actually fight for it. So that's
Right,
the strategy.
right. You put yourself in the swimming pool and then you have to learn to swim. You don't have any other option.
Oh, such a great way to
Okay,
again put it. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
right. Very interesting. Thanks, Varun. It was a great conversation. I think people who are watching, maybe you guys can also comment like if you have taken any drastic leaps in your career, how was that journey? Was it easy? Was it difficult? Did you also go through the imposter syndrome and how did you overcome it? It would be great fun to read those and probably like, we can discuss more on that also. And Varun, any last words that you would like to say? And then we can kind of wrap up this conversation.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, definitely because this conversation, most of the conversation was around sales engineering. I would say, yeah, definitely, sales is super critical, not just when it comes to engineering in daily life. Like we are selling every time, whether I'm talking to my kid, I'm talking to my wife, my friends, my family. I think it's everywhere. Super critical skills. A lot of time, people they think like yeah, sales is only for salespeople. I'm not a salesperson, but very important skill set in today's world. You need to know how to sell yourself. You need to know how to sell your solution. You need to have that negotiation skills. Like some of those skills, I would say is bare minimum that required in today's world. But last word I would say, yeah, thanks for having me here, Pradeep. Like I really had a blast. Like I was like getting into it. I was like slowly getting warmed up, but now you can see, I don't know, but I definitely feel quite charged up with this entire conversation. And yeah, if there's anything I could add to the community or to this podcast, yeah, definitely feel free to reach out again.
Thanks, Varun. So what I will do is I will kind of maybe put a link to Varun Jain's profile into the description, and people who are going through these things, if they want any kind of help or suggestion, they can connect with you. And great conversation. Do subscribe for such kind of amazing conversations. Many such conversations are lined up. And thank you for watching, all of you. Have a nice day.
Thanks, Paddy, and thanks everyone.